Good morning. I'm going to continue with my series on the US Championships 1963-64. We're in the, sorry, I'll just get rid of analysis. We're in the fourth round. We know what the result is because Fischer won all his games this year, but let's see how he achieved it. So far, we've had a endgame masterclass, real endgame Carlsen would be proud of. We've had a brilliant King's Gambit attack and a fantastic counter-attack with black from nowhere over in 20 moves. What are we going to get this time? The sacrificial lamb on this occasion is Arthur Bisiguier, American Grandmaster from New York, qualified for the interzonals, the pre-candidates as they used to have in those times a few times. Won the US Close Championship on several occasions. I don't think he ever won the Open Championship. Could be wrong. And towards the end of his life, he was the oldest active Grandmaster in the world. He carried on playing at a high level until he was 87 years old. So that's impressive. So, Fischer plays F4, E4 even, best by test, E5, the knight comes out, and the knight comes out, and he plays the Roy Lopez. This is the so-called Morphy defense, and he backs up the bishop. This is the Columbus variation, yeah. And he castles, so that if you take the pawn, the rook comes here, and when the knight moves, this pawn is lost. So it's not even worth taking. Yeah, this is the closed defense when you play bishop t7. The rook defends the pawn now, and the bishop is chased and comes to b3. Black castles, and white makes the space for his bishop. So far, we're 8 moves in, it's all theory. There isn't anything outside of theory. That's all. d6, again, a theory move. h6, that's the h3, that's the Keres variation. The knight attacks the bishop, which retreats and adds support to the e4 pawn. Puts a clamp on d5, d4, trying to stop black from being able to play, white from being able to play d4. But he plays it anyway whilst he's got a chance. And the knight comes to d2. Maybe he's thinking about deploying to b3. Maybe he's going f1. Who knows? But then Bisiguier, I'm not saying it's a mistake or anything, it's an opportunity. As soon as he moves the knight to c6, the pawn is no longer covered by the bishop, by the queen. That means he can only take back with the pawn. So Fischer creates an open file, and the knight gets off that open file, but the rook comes and attacks the queen. Does he win the control of the file? No, it's still contested. Still play rook to e1, d1. The knight comes to h5, possibly thinking about coming here. Possibly, yeah, thinking about bringing the queen over, trying to start a kingside attack. Fischer prevents the knight from coming to f4. And Bisiguier plays g6 so that he can consider retreating his bishop to f8 and then playing to g7. Restrains the bishop a little bit more, maybe encouraging it to go back to f8. The knight comes to f3, e3 even. Yeah. Is it heading here? Is it heading here? We don't know. Comes to f6 to prevent the knight coming here, because otherwise he would be gaining one of the two bishops. So the knight comes to d5 and forks queen and bishop and takes the bishop. So now he's playing with the two bishops, with the bishop pair. And the knight rearranges itself to g4, looking at the h7, h6 square. It was ganging up on that pawn, so he took it. And now we've got pure bishops against knights situation. How do we evaluate this? How do we know which is better, bishops or knights? Well, if the board is closed, then knights will be better. If the board is open, bishops will be better. If we're in a middle game, knights might be better. In an end game, bishops will be better. Why? In an end game, bishops can cover both sides of the board easily, and they're very good at stopping passed pawns. Knights, on the other hand, are slow and struggle to stop passed pawns. But this is a fairly closed-looking middle game, so the knights might be able to hold their own at this point in time. So it comes to g4, e6, looking at the square d4. Actually, can't go there yet because it's well covered. So he tries to break open, and the king comes to h8. The king comes to g2, g5. The bishop comes to f3. Brilliant move by Bisiguier. If Fischer takes the knight, then the pawn takes and threatens the rook, and if the rook retreats, then the rook comes to. If the bishop retreats, then the rook comes to g8 and wins the queen. So he can't take the knight, otherwise he's going to lose the bishop. So the king comes to h2, and now he's threatening to take the knight. So knight comes to d3, and Fischer doesn't tolerate that knight there. And he gets ready to double up on the d file, and he does it. He plays b3 to prevent the knight coming to c4 and chasing away the doubled rook, and then he doubles his rooks. And yeah, he plays rook takes pawn, wins an important pawn. Wait a minute, doesn't that mean that Bisiguier can get 2 rooks for the queen? Should be worth the pawn that he's done, especially as he gets an attack on this pawn. So this is exactly what Bisiguier believes, but Fischer surprises him with taking with the queen. He's got no choice but to take back with the queen, and then the knight will come here, and then the rook will come here and attack 2 pawns, and will eventually start clearing up all the pawns, and so Bisiguier resigns. Yeah, a non-routine recapture from Fischer. It made it look relatively easy. Bisiguier was a good player, and I don't know, was there a moment of poor concentration? I don't know. It didn't go for him on this occasion. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my videos. Thanks. Bye.